Good morning.
Here it is again. As I always say, the sunrise is here again.
The sunrise is here again. We're live.
Yeah.
The sunrise is here again. A new day. So already you heard another voice here. Our playbook went a little different. I wanted to have just steps so that you start figuring out there were two sets of steps instead of one. And you already figured out it's a man's voice. What you don't know is that it's a very significant archaeologist's voice. But this is a pretty nice spot. It's an interesting thing, Motti, that when you are completely zoomed out, if you move, it's very unstable. So zoomed out is good. If you're zoomed in, every slightest movement is a big jump for the image on the camera. So I say that's a lesson for life, that when you want to move, you should get the big picture. You can't make decisions in life just on the small one.
Yep.
Let's go back this way and see how the reflection is doing on Duke Altum's window here. So you're here. We'll reveal Motti to you soon. Motti is actually a Hebrew version of a colloquial version of Mordecai. And Mordecai was the uncle of, who was Mordecai in the Bible? Come on, who was Mordecai? Mordecai was the uncle of?
Esther.
Very good. And so Motti is the abbreviation of Mordecai. Or not abbreviation, the familiar way, the affectionate way, nickname. It's the affectionate way. So people, we just rejoice and enjoy this beautiful dawn. And let's see if there's anything coming on the window. We just have to get another angle. And the fruit is incredible. Look at this fruit here on the palm tree. Look at the amount of fruit. If you want to count those, huh? We have some that are falling already from other trees. We're short on volunteers here this year. So I'm not sure how much harvesting is going to get done. The birds will be competing with us.
Birds and bats.
Birds and bats, yeah, exactly. So let's see if we can get some light here on the window of Duke Altum.
Here it comes.
So there we have Duke Altum's window. Oh, what's happened now is that the sun has gone behind the cloud. So that means then there's less drama in the window. But there's also the presence of all the cloud. It's just amazing, all this fruit. Absolutely abundance. The abundance of this gift. I wonder if we'll do better here now, because there's light's getting bright over the cloud as well. Depends a little bit on the angle here with the trees. Yeah, there it is. We can keep our eye on this as well.
So Duke Altum is reflecting the day.
Exactly. It's reflecting the day, and we're reflecting on the day. And we're reflecting the light. So our readings today are very rich, but we're also going to have a little chat with Motti about his experience, which is amazing as an archaeologist. But just about the readings then. So we're starting the book of Judges today, which is very interesting. Maybe afterwards you have a thought about if there's any archaeology related to the judges around the country. And there are locations like, who's the guy here in Galilee near the Gan Shlosha?
Gidon.
Gideon, yeah. Gidon, they say in Hebrew, Gideon. And then we have, let's see the real thing over here. So then we have the beautiful psalm of God's mercy and patience with people who struggle to fulfill a covenant. And that's very, very powerful. Basically, the statement in the book of Judges is that the people are really up and down in their relationship with God and not fulfilling the covenant. So it's a pretty harsh judgment on the people. And that's there in the introduction to the book of Judges. And so there's a big lesson to be learned about human nature and our brokenness. They say don't throw stones because you're living in a glass house. Don't rush to judge. And there we find in the psalm today a really beautiful expression of God's mercy, that he still loves his people. He still came and cared for them. His mercy is so rich. And then we come to Jesus in the gospel, and this rich young fellow comes. Maybe he was from Magdala because there was some wealth in Magdala. We can see that from all the mosaics and frescoes, Pompeii style, but he could be from anywhere else. But there was commerce here, so when they have commerce, a lot of people have enough to eat, and some people have a lot more than they need for eating. So that's normal, that's the history of humanity. And the rich young man isn't a bad guy, because he asked Jesus, what do I do to enter the kingdom? And Jesus says, well, keep the commandments, keep the covenant, the basis of the covenant, the basics of the covenant. And then the guy says, I've done all that. And in one of the gospel accounts, I'm not sure if it's today's, it says that Jesus looked at him and loved him. He so appreciated the heart and soul of this young man who was faithful to the covenant no matter what was going on. Can you hear the water from this distance? We're about 40 steps away from the water. And it's just breaking on the shore there so gently. And then Jesus invites him to another level. And he says, okay, if you really want to grow to the next level, sell what you have, take care of the poor, and come follow me. Your promised land will be the treasure you'll have in heaven. It's not going to be measured in dunhams or acres or hectares or square meters or hundreds of square meters or square kilometers. And you read the gospel to see the next part of the story. And we leave that like that today. So now I'm going to introduce our mystery guest this morning. Not completely mystery, because his name is Motti. Hello, Motti.
Good morning.
And Motti is here with his wife, and she was going to come, but she didn't come this morning. And they're just celebrating this week 47 years of marriage. So I think we love Motti because of his archaeological prowess, but we particularly love Motti because of the mensch he is, the good guy he is, the true gentleman and humble scholar. And he actually wrote the first article on Magdala, right?
Yep, on the Magdala stone, not the Magdala, but
on the Magdala stone, that's right. And you did drawings and everything, and to make your point, and
That's right.
and you had some differences with the with the proposed explanation at that time. But they tell me that that's the way an archaeologist makes money, if they can differ from the guy that went before them.
Archaeologists don't make money.
Oh, that's true.
They're doing research.
They do research.
No one is paying you. No
Yeah,
one's paying you
but it's
for
also
this.
interpretation,
Yes, but it comes from the
context.
will. It comes from the will to produce
Lovely.
your thoughts.
Very good.
You're writing because you have to.
Okay, you want to express all that's coming up.
Exactly. It comes up. You have to write it down, and then to process it a little bit, make it better, and publish it so others can read it.
I just discovered a little story about Motti, and I want to walk down to the water because there's a water connection with this story, and we walk over to the dock area there as well, or whatever, the platform area. And Motti, this is very nice because in a certain sense this fits in with the subject that Jesus was talking about in a way, even let's say from a secular level. So an archaeologist, you don't become an archaeologist to make money. You might become a lawyer, or you might study business, or other things, you know. And then an archaeologist isn't in it for the money. So it's a life of the spirit, of the mind, of the heart. And so when the archaeologists, this is all groundwater coming out of our archaeology. Where's it? Here we are.
Spring water.
Spring water coming out from the area of the mikvaot. Well, actually, there's another outlet for that. So this is a different part of the spring water that's here under Magdalene. And here you have this beautiful surface here. So there are other things in life besides making money. Can you hear the waves coming in? So Motti, you told me something very interesting right now, that a long time ago. What's the story? What is the story? Guys, you remember there was a boat discovered in the water, dredged in the water here 40-something years ago?
38, 35, yeah.
Okay. And what's your connection?
I was working for the Israel Antiquities Authority then in the anti-theft unit.
Anti-theft unit?
Yes.
Okay.
That means that you have your colleague with you and you drive
Just a second. Can everybody hear Motti well? As we don't, is he close enough to the phone, or is he speaking loud enough? Because I don't want you to miss his wisdom and his experience. Can you hear him well? Okay, go ahead, Motti. I think they can.
So what we had to do is to drive along Galilee from side to side with our little jeep and control and trying to prevent people to loot antiquities. So we were here at the very beginning of the discovery of the boat, and we continue watching almost every day how things are going, the excavations. And finally we were here in the same morning when the boat was floating on the water after 2,000 years.
So are you in the movie there?
I'm not in the movie. The boat was in the movie. And
because so many people have seen the movie.
It was similar colors on the lake. And when this morning I came up to here, to the shore at Magdala, it reminded me a lot.
Well, let's walk up here to we can probably see more or less the location where it was found over the bushes here.
So that boat was another interesting connection between the first century and the coast of Magdala. It was suggested, and we don't have a way to prove it, of course, that the boat is connected to the war,
right?
The Jewish war in '67.
Okay.
And the Roman attack on Magdala, and what we call the naval battle.
Naval battle.
Yeah, a naval battle, and it could be, right?
Yes.
And that was a great, interesting discovery. Not only the boat itself, but the history that is folded in between its wooden beams.
Yes.
That was my first
archaeological experience.
No. My first contact with Magdala.
Okay. Well, actually, was it precisely Magdala? Because let's look here just to find the place.
It was just behind these
bushes.
Bushes, yes, indeed.
Okay.
And There is no doubt that it comes from Magdala. There's no other settlement here, but Magdala.
Is there any other settlement between here and the Tel Gennesar up there?
Not on the shore.
Not on the shore.
No. Not on the shore. And Magdala surely has a lot of fishing boats.
Of course.
In sport.
Yeah, and even Josephus, Flavius Josephus speaks about this.
That's a story.
Yes.
A story. And the fact that there were 1 or 2 arrowheads found in the boat that made.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's pretty heavy going. I didn't know about the 2 arrowheads.
Yes, and that's what made the connection.
Yes. You're great to be viewing as you speak. You can continue speaking, Motti, but the people also want to see the sunrise because this is sunrise stroll and chat.
As a matter of fact, sunrise is much more interesting than me. No doubt about it.
No, this conversation is fantastic. So, any other major highlight from your archaeology, your life in archaeology?
I had
Like a sensational thing?
I had a lot during the years. Archaeology is like a detective story. Every day is different. Every day is different. Every day the dig is different. I'm digging now at a site called El Araj, which is right from the northern point.
Across here.
Northern point of the Sea of Galilee, where the Jordan enters the Kinneret.
Right.
And that's another interesting experience. And
tell us something about that. This is the new potential Bethsaida. I'm sure a lot of our people are aware of this. And maybe we should go there some morning, but not now because we'd miss the sunrise over there.
Yeah.
But
so the Bethsaida is one of the sites of the first century, both the New Testament and Josephus mentioned in both of them, that was not clearly identified. We all know where is Capernaum because the site preserved the name.
yes.
And at the end of the 19th century, scholars already knew and suggested the location. But Bethsaida was unknown. There were 3 sites that are potential Bethsaida. One of them was excavated for the last 32 years by Rami Arav, our colleague. And,
From Nebraska, University of Nebraska. Right.
Nebraska, that's right. And we started excavating at El Araj because we thought that there are good reasons.
Yes.
The identification should be there.
Yes.
Until our excavation, no one excavated deep into the ground there, and when we penetrated 2 meters below the Byzantine, the 6th century monastery remains that we found, we discovered the Roman layer, 1st century to 3rd century. So we have here a large settlement on the shore of Sea of Galilee, which we believe is the real Bethsaida. We have to continue digging and to...
What's the major discovery this year from that dig? As you were
year-
digging already last
this year
month.
This year we didn't really excavate it because of the coronavirus and the flood
The
of
flood.
the Kinneret.
Right.
But the last 2 years, the main discovery is the church,
Right.
Byzantine period
right.
church that we discovered. And now we are going to, on October, we are going to excavate and try to get to the floors of the church in an attempt to find an inscription.
Fantastic.
And then maybe we'll know to whom it was dedicated.
Right. Wow. That's promising. And now, since we're in Magdalene, we're going to wrap up. Motti, we can't let you go without. You're staying here, right? You're enjoying the guest house.
Very much.
What I'd love to say is just imagine, guys, when you're all here and in the different schedules that you'll have, or maybe we can do a sunrise stroll and chat pilgrimage to the Holy Land. But when you're here, then you can, when our visitors start coming, we can chime in. But Motti is a local here, so he's staying here with his wife to celebrate their big anniversary.
For an archaeologist too. And my wife is married to me for 47 years, so she is involved in archaeology. She has to.
And you're
She's
blessed.
a bookkeeper.
You're blessed with children.
I'm blessed with 4, yes.
God bless.
And so to celebrate the 47th anniversary of an archaeologist in an archaeological site. This is one of the very, very few places in the world that you have a guest house, modern guest house, that is inspired by archaeology. And you walk in the corridor and you look out and you see a first century synagogue. That makes my day.
What do you like about the synagogue, Motti? You're the first one to publish about the Magdala stone.
Well, I like it. First of all, the fact that I missed the opportunity to dig it.
You like that or you didn't? I said, what you like?
I think I was sorry that I was not the one who excavated it, but also it's humbling. You know, said that I can do everything. There are others who can do it. So, and second is that this was the first synagogue of the Second Temple period that was discovered in Galilee. We had one at the Golan.
In Gamla.
And Gamla, and Magdala is the first one, and it strengthened my understanding of history and archaeology, because for years I was asked by people why we don't have synagogues like Josephus is describing in the New Testament. And Jesus is going in the synagogues in the Galilee, preaching in the synagogues in the Galilee. So why we don't have them? And I said it's only what I called an archaeological bingo. You dig somewhere, not always you hit the right place to find the synagogue.
Right.
And here it happened.
Right.
Here it was the first touch of the bulldozer.
Yes.
Found the synagogue.
Exactly. Right.
So it's really bingo. Okay?
Right.
And that's illuminated the question of Galilean synagogue. So I was sorry I was not the one to excavate it, but a few years later I had the chance to uncover a smaller synagogue at Tel Rechesh.
Yes.
In eastern Lower Galilee, which is also dated 1st, 2nd century. So now we have two. Okay.
Fantastic.
And if we continue digging, we'll have 10. If we continue digging, we'll have 20. That's life of archaeologists. There's always a reason to wake up in the morning. First is the sunrise. And second is to find discovery.
And so we have a reason to invite Motti back again when you're here in Magdala. Maybe we can just get together to visit another place for sunrise, because since
I'd be more than happy to do so.
you seem to be nearly. He and his wife were out yesterday at 5 o'clock kayaking, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Great.
Fantastic.
Maybe we can do a sunrise stroll and chat kayaking.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, people. I went over time this morning, but we had good reason. So we'll just do a little. I'm not sure if this will work. It's the first time I'm trying this here. We'll try and do a little selfie moment here with Motti. Let me see here if we can get this guy to come in. Oh, there you are. So just you can say hello to the people there, Motti. You're on camera here. God bless you all, people. Thank you for joining us this morning. See you later, alligators.